and welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that lovely Brutal OSC as we have returned with our second series of the night. We returned with our second best of 3 here in Group A of HomeStory Cup 26. Oh boy, we just wrapped up with Nightmare versus Fjant, and now we're going live here with our TvZ. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the yellow Zerg player from the land of Sweden representing Team Brody. It is Fjant. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player, the reigning champion of HomeStory Cup himself. It is GuMiho. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat. Again, I do apologize for not hosting the predictions for the first series of the night. I thought I did, but I guess I didn't. But now they are live in the chat, so place your bets while you can. And as a reminder, this is going to be a prediction for the series, not just for the game. So best of luck, as we are going to be settling in back at home. So far, Hatch Gas Pool standard open out of Fjant. Meanwhile, GuMiho, it's been a while since I've seen this build, not gonna lie, it's been a couple of months. Looks to be 2-Rax Reaper. Oh boy, I say a couple of months. Yeah, actually like a month or so, maybe a little bit more than that. We have seen this build, at least more recently, be relatively popular on post-youth in the previous map pool, but now here in the current map pool, I haven't seen Bjorn embrace this, I haven't seen Olivera embrace this, but GuMiho, he's going for the 2-Rax Reaper. Let's go. Now, this build is designed to deny and delay the third. Delay the third base for as long as possible and get into a macroeconomic game from here into a 2-1-1. This can lead into a 3-Rax Reaper. It can lead into a 4-Rax follow-up as well. There's a lot of variety, or there's a lot of different tech paths that you can go down after this, which is what makes it so scary and so versatile, and we'll see if Fjant can piece it all together. Overlord has arrived, and Fjant will get eyes on the Raxes on the low ground. So Fjant knows. He knows at least about the 2-Rax Reaper. He should be going a little bit further in to see the timing of the CC, or to see if there's a 3rd Rax further in the main. So Fjant needs a bit of a further scout here. Reapers are moving out, and back at home, Fjant, he should be prioritizing Ling's speed. Oh, he went gasless. Okay. Fjant, okay, he went for a 15-15. Lings are moving out, but the Reaper has arrived. Now, because Fjant did open up gasless, this does mean that his link speed is going to be delayed, which means his 3rd is going to be heavily delayed here. Reaper dives in, almost gets a drone. Quick move there to Fjant, does pivot away. So far, no losses yet. Lings move out to try to harass across the map, but back at home, there are more Reapers on the way. And again, the goal of this build here for GuMiho is to delay the 3rd, and so far he has done so. And usually you break out and you can finally expand with link speed, but there is no link speed. There were no gases. Fjant is going to be contained for a little bit longer. So a rough start for Fjant. Meanwhile, the Reapers, they've rotated over towards the natural. Queen's out of position. Queen's not here, and drones are going down. We get 1, we get 2 worker kills already. Ay. 4 drones do 4. Lings across the map. They do nibble away at the front door, but there's another Reaper popping out. And GuMiho races back home. Now, because the Reapers, because they race back home, this tells me that Fjant can finally expand and finally take a 3rd. But the delay is quite severe here. So far so good for GuMiho. Behind this, again, he's expanding and he's getting into... Oh, a 3cc 3-Rax. This is a variation that I haven't seen in quite some time. Okay, so this is going to be a very hefty bio army with Stim. For now, though, we do have the Reapers going for the 3rd base. Can they force another cancel? Oh. They can, and they will. They force a cancel here on the 3rd. Again, link speed is not even halfway done. It was already delayed. 2 more drones falling, and this is getting out of hand. This is getting out of control. 3, 4, up to 5. Can we get up to 6 drone kills? Oh, we can. 6 workers go down, and this is too much. This is too much damage here already. Reapers, they dive into the main. They got a full scout as well. They got eyes on the would-be Roach Warren. And GuMiho, he knows about the eventual Roach push. 3rd base just now restarting. Reaper does confirm that the Roach Warren did complete. Can chip away at the 3rd. Confirms that it is on the way. And from here, Fjant may just be forced into an all-in. Meanwhile, back at home, the build of choice here that we were pointing out earlier, fast 3rd base. Fast 3rd CC here out of GuMiho. What does this mean? This means delayed starport. Delayed starport, delayed medevac production more importantly. But what we have to make up for that is Mass Marine. Mass Marine Marauder here. Stim is on the way into combat shields thereafter. It's going to be a hefty bio army here to work with. We even have the bunker on the low ground as well. And this is all just leading to a faster third base and into a Stim time. Meanwhile, Fjant back at home. He's making roaches. Looks just to be like safety roaches here from Fjant. He is saturating. He's rallying over towards his third. But again, it has been a very delayed start for Fjant. Looking at the news lost tab, again, it was 8 drones in total, 8 worker kills, an overlord, 5 lings. Massive delay on the third base. Has been a disastrous start for Fjant. And GuMiho has a choice to make. He can either move that here and now. He could push if he wanted to. He could push with Stim, or he could wait for medevacs. As Starport's still on the way and the reactors in production on the factory, that is for an add-on swap into medevac production. And you can see here, GuMiho, he doesn't care. Yeah, he's moving up before medevacs. And Fjant, okay, he does have enough roaches. He should survive this. He's got 5 queens. He's got how many roaches? 10. 10 roaches, 5 queens. He should be okay here. Marines, they spot the roaches. They want none of that. They back the hell off. Up. Forces them in. We trade here with the roaches. It's going to be 5 Marines for 2 roaches. GuMiho does escape with most of his army. And again, he wasn't really expecting this many roaches. If Fjant didn't make this many roaches this early on, if he had cut corners, if he was a little bit greedier, then he may have just died. He may have just died. He would have lost queens, would have lost workers. It would have been brutal. Alas, thankfully, Fjant survives. Takes the 4th base. Meanwhile, GuMiho, he backs off, knocks down the tower, and the medevacs have arrived, which means he can move out. He can move out and he can stim more freely here. Also, before I forget, I do apologize, but it did happen during the break, so I have to point it out, of course. Shout out to Janij82. God, thank you so much for subscribing for the first time with Twitch Prime. Thank you so much. Again, did happen during the break, so I apologize for not giving you a shout out earlier, but thank you. Thank you so much. Do appreciate it. Hope you enjoy your emotes. Hope you enjoy your replay packs. As Marines, they stim in, they collapse on the roaches. And there's just too much fire. The boys are being pulled. And the roaches are going to be overwhelmed. Queens are coming in to reinforce, but there's only 1 roach left. Now there's none. And the boys are being pulled, but the damage has already been dealt at this point. And the bio army, they can just stand and fight. They can stand, they can fight, they take down 22 workers. Oh no. 22 drones, 5 queens, and every single roach that waddles in. And GuMiho is not done, he's still rallying across the map. Going for the kill. And again, it was just a really rough start for Fjant. Just all the dead workers, the delay on the third base, just a really rough start for him. And it snowballed into this kind of game state. Where if the early game goes that poorly, it's just so difficult to recover. It's why I assumed that Fjant would be going for an all-in, but he did attempt to macro out of this. Alas, once again, trying to hold on here against that tank. More reinforcements have arrived. No. He just wants a tank. GG gets called, and GuMiho takes game number 1. GG. GuMiho does take a lead in the series. And with that, we are getting ready here for game number 2. It's going to be on Whispers of Gold. It's going to be a Whispers of Gold here. We go. And yeah, a lot of it did just come down to the early game defense regarding the 2-Action Reaper build, getting all those workers, forcing even a cancel on the third base. And here we go, we're getting into game number 2, and we'll see if Fjant can recover and fight back, or if GuMiho will claim the series. Oh boy. Again, it was a very aggressive start by GuMiho in game 1, going 2-Rax Reaper, but I don't know if we're going to necessarily see that every game in this series. We may see a much more standard opener. If so, then our Zerg player can look a little bit more comfortable to actually get into their game and get into their build of choice. I hope that we can get there, but We'll see. As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Whispers of Gold, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran representing himself, currently teamless, but the reigning champion of HomeStory Cup. It is GuMiho. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the yellow Zerg player from the land of Sweden, currently down in this series, but we'll see if he can bounce back and force the ace match. For Team Roddy, it is Fjant. Here we go. It's the same build. 2-Rax Reaper at a GuMiho. We have this set up here on the low ground. Now, this could still be a 3-Rax. We could see 2 Raxes on the low ground, and we could see 1 Rax in the main. Again, we're loading into Whispers of Gold. This is a very small map, very short rush distance by ground. Aggression is favored on Whispers of Gold, so we'll not be surprised if GuMiho does commit into a 3rd Rax as well. From the side of Fjant, now, as a reminder, a big reason as to why this dealt so much damage and why Fjant had such a hard time in the previous game is because, if you remember, Fjant went for a gasless opener. Fjant's link speed was heavily delayed in game 1, intentionally so, and he was punished for that because of his build of choice. This time, Hatch Gas Pool. Last time there was kind of a 15-15 setup. This time, Hatch Gas Pool. This time, link speed is going to finish faster. Now, this will still mean that Fjant's 3rd base is going to be delayed, but it also means that he's going to be able to reclaim his 3rd base that much faster compared to game 1. So far, so good. Is taking or saturating his gases. Overlord gets across the map, and I was getting ahead of myself. We do have the low ground Rax set up here, but only 1 Rax, not 2-Rax Reaper. Interesting. This looks like the special build. If you recall, special did have a build where he would go here. Rax into factory on the low ground, into a CC. Of course, CC was before the factory. But yeah, we do have that low ground set up here. Now, there's a bit of a give and take. On the one hand, your natural base is walled off. Your natural is walled off, so your natural is safer and more secure than otherwise previously. The downside is that your production is exposed, and trying to go into a starport, into an add-on top, can be really awkward here for the defending Terran player. On top of that, if Fjant commits to a roach all-in, I mean, if they break the natural, they break your production. You can camp the Rax, the factory, the starport. All the production should be here on the low ground, and it is going to be vulnerable and exposed. So, we'll see if Fjant takes the baits. We'll see if he does go for a roach all-in. For now, he is investing into link speed. Link speed is on the way, joining up that natural. Reaper poking in. Gets eyes on the 3rd. The 3rd is well timed here for Fjant. And again, is Fjant tempted to be aggressive against this? Oh my god. Speaking of aggression, GuMiho is going to be the first to really pull the trigger here. Armory. Armory is on the way. That is going to be for a Hellbat push. And for the time being, Fjant is in the dark. Now Fjant just securing himself, spreading creep. Saturating his bases, getting into link speed. Nothing too crazy so far here, right, Fjant? Everything's looking standard for the time being. As GuMiho is amassing more Hellions. There's that starport going for the add-on swap. I mean, so far it looks like a 1-1-1. Looks like a Banshee play here. And it is, but again, there's kind of a twist added to the build that so far Fjant is unaware of. And here, oh my god, early Hellbat morph in, Jesus! Hellbats, they just morph in, they go for the Queens! A very early timing here from GuMiho. 4 Hellbats and 2 Reapers, he gets 1, he gets 2 Queens already! A very peculiar build here. I mean, this hits so much faster than any other standard Hellbat push. Just morphs in with 4 Hellions, gets 4 drones already, there's 1 Queen left, he's waddling in! At the same time, the 1 reinforcing Hellion, there we go, they morph into Hellbats, they're coming in towards the main. Ooh, the Lings, they get roasted. And that final Queen, it's so close to falling. 1 more volley, 1 more shot, the Reapers, they want it! And they get it. 1 Queen left. Meanwhile, the Hellbats, they go for the 3rd, they don't reinforce the main army. The final Queen, oh, the final Queen goes down! And this may just be game. This has been far too much damage already. How many losses here? 5 Queens, 21 Lings have gone down. The Hellbats are finally being cleaned up. They're so low. The boys are pulled. But at this point, it's just already been critical damage. The final Hellbat goes down, and remember, this was not necessarily an all-in. There's a third CC on the way. Remember, Banshee production behind this. Stim is in production. Cloak. The first Banshee has yet to pop. But this is a wild build out of GuMiho. Ay, ay, ay. Let's go. And as it settles, GuMiho's ahead. GuMiho, he's got 42 workers plus mules. Fjant, he's on 37 drones, still redroning, resaturating. More importantly, the production. Fjant, he has between 3 bases, 2 queens. He has only 2 queens, which means no spreading creep, of course, limited injects available as well. The production, the macro is going to be affected here for Fjant, as he's rebuilding his queen count. Also, because of the low amount of queens, it means that the Banshees have more free reign. Of course, there are spores, thankfully. There's spores in every single mineral line, but Banshees, they can still find some damage here. As we're waiting for the second Banshee. Cloak is done. GuMiho already taking his third. Racing Bio, of course. And the Banshees should soon move out. 2 Banshees can one-shot workers, and there we go. Do move out across the map. Back at home, we have, I believe, 4 queens? No, 3. Okay, 3 queens so far. 4th queen is on the way. Banshees move out. They delay the 4th. Ooh, they get a drone. 4th base is delayed. Yeah, no mobile detection. Lair is still in production. Drones are going down. And Queen's not quite in position. It's going to be 3 drone kills and a Spore as well. Spore goes down. Queen's notified there's no transfuse. One more shot. Oh my god. Queen goes down. Ay, ay, ay. And he can just get another Queen. Yeah, 2nd Queen falls. 3rd Queen as well. Again, this is all because of the Queen losses earlier. Remember, 5 Queens died to the Hellbat defense. During the Hellbat defense. And this is getting out of hand. I mean, there are Lings ready for a counterattack across the map, but there are just so many Marines, so many Hellbats. Stim is done. The Lings shouldn't really find much damage. They head for the 3rd. But the army's in position. Yeah, GuMiho is all over this. All over this, still getting more worker kills. 12 drones to the Banshees. And he wants another Queen. No detection. Another Queen goes down. Oh my god, the value. 8 Queen kills already. And that's just free damage on the roaches. Just free hits on the roaches as well. The base itself under fire. Getting very low. Finally, 1 Banshee almost goes down, but barely escapes. And here comes the move out. Here comes the main army. GuMiho, he has 1-1 compared to the 0-0 Fjant. And again, GuMiho with the Gumi builds. Like, as a reminder, the first move out was crazy. Remember, it was 4 Hellions. It was just 4 Hellion double Reaper harass, which suddenly turned into 4 Hellbats. And it was with that 4 Hellbat push where GuMiho was able to get 5 Queen kills, 21 drones. Did reinforce with a 5th and 6th Hellbat, to be fair, if you recall. There were a couple of reinforcing Hellions and Hellbats. But that first move out basically ended the game. And now here comes the finishing blow here. The final touch. 3rd base goes down. No additional Queens to defend. They got picked up earlier by the Banshees. Speaking of Banshees, they're still alive. They're still adding DPS. Getting more economic damage. Finally, 1 Banshee goes down. Let's go. That's a kill, not a cancel. That's a kill on the 4th base. Marines are down on the roaches. GG gets called, and GuMiho will take the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Very impressive performance there by GuMiho. Very interesting builds. I mean, game 1 was more of a standard game. I mean, it was 2x Reaper, but I mean, that's a little bit more standard. Game 2 was a little bit more, was wild. We typically don't see 4 Hellion, like, Hellbat pushes like that. Like, that was a crazy early armory timing from GuMiho. Of course, Hellions did move out across the map a little bit faster because of the placement of the factory and the build of choice, of course. But yeah, just a really early armory, and that caught Fjant with his pants down. Again, Fjant was not expecting the armory that early on, Hellbats that early on, and because of that, the Queens got caught immediately. It was like, I want to say 2 or 3 Queens went down in the first couple of seconds, and that kind of snowballed out of control from there, with GuMiho just dealing critical damage. GG. GG, well played. A Wilds build here in Game 2 by GuMiho, and with that he does take a lead in the series. Or sorry, he does take the series in the end, 2-0. And Fjant has had a bit of a harder time here so far in this group stage. What I will say is that he did have a stronger showing against Nightmare. I still look back on like Game 1, for example, and even Game 2, was able to hold his own. Here, I mean, GuMiho is a heavy favorite. As a reminder, GuMiho is the reigning champion. He was the champion of HomeStory Cup 25, so GuMiho is primed to come out of this group. Looking at this group, I think both myself and Yaku, we were secure and we were both kind of in unison, or that we were on the same page about GuMiho, how he should make it out of the group stage. It's all about who comes out in second place. Skilless, Lambo, Nightmare as well. Those are 3 strong players. Likewise, Fjant and Battle B, they can take maps, they can take series, they can influence who makes it out of the group stage as well. It is going to be more difficult for them to make it out themselves, but you know, not impossible, I should emphasize. And yeah, they can also still, of course, impact the group themselves. So it is going to be a wild group. Again, it is very unforgiving as well. As a reminder, 6 players, only 2 make it out. Like, it's really unforgiving. Just a really unforgiving format where only 2 players make it out of the group. So best of luck. Best of luck to all those involved. And let's catch up on the bracket and figure out where exactly we are headed. Let us go. Likewise, just catching up on the clean feed as well. Figuring out, oh, there we go. Figuring out where we are. Looks like the clean feed, oh sorry, the main feed, they are actually mid-series in Skilless versus Lambo. But let's switch our scenes over and catch up on the bracket.